Welcome to the Chasing Tone video show and podcast, and I'm Brian.
I'm Max.
Today we talk about the DB Plus versus the Tumnus and how they're two different types of boosts. We talk about different kinds of compressors. We bring in a new segment and call our Uncle Frank Falbo.
Call Uncle Frank.
The the band behind Mini Pickups.
Mini Pickups.
And we have a very cool gear vault for you. So with that, let's jump right into the show.
Ho, ho, ho.
So you were talking to me this morning about a question you always get.
Yes.
Regarding the Tumnus and the DB Plus.
I know the answer, but you guys.
Right. So I thought it's my idea. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. So you thought it actually might be a really good comparison to kind of demonstrate the two differences.
Yeah.
And kind of explain real quick what they are. So you don't need those. So DB Plus is like a full range boost.
Yeah.
It has a switch on the side that you can turn the buffer on and off. The Tumnus is always buffered, so even when you turn it off, it's going to be buffered.
Yeah.
The Tumnus has gain, so you can actually get overdrive out of it. The Tumnus has just loud volume.
Oh, you mean the DB?
I'm sorry, the DB Plus has loud volume. You're not really not going to get clipping or overdrivey sort of thing. So, but with that said, they both will get clean boost.
Yeah.
They will do the clean boost. They sound totally different though. So let's hear what you got for your bass signal. Okay, so I'm going to turn the DB Plus on, and I'll just give you a little volume. Okay, so you have tons of clean volume, so if we go too much more, if I had to guess, we probably just clip the mic like crazy. And
Probably, but that's a good demonstration of how loud it gets.
So that's what a mic sounds like whenever you clip it.
It's true.
It's very bad distortion.
Too much clean volume.
Right. So, but the whole point is it's lots of volume.
Yeah.
Getting lots of full range volume. It's not cutting bass. It's not adding anything. It's just flat. Tumnus, on the other hand,
Whole different beast.
adds some coolness that a regular booster won't really get. So let's see what we got here. So play one of your bluesy riffs, and I'll switch on and off the difference.
Okay, so we're
Okay, so that was the DB Plus first, then the Tumnus. You can see like the Tumnus adds some mids to it, adds a little bit of high-end sparkle.
a little more grit.
And some grit to it as well. So, yeah, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Anything else, Dan?
Internally, the Tumnus has like a charge pump, right? So it goes like ramps up from 9 to 18 volts.
Yep.
See, it sounds smart.
Yep, and the DB Plus is only 9. You can run it at 18. That'll give you even more volume.
Yeah, even more headroom, right?
Yep. So, but it's still a booster, a volume booster, where the Tumnus shapes things, adds overdrive, a little more tricks to it.
Yeah.
So,
Don't run the Tumnus at 18 volts.
don't do that unless
That's a really bad idea.
unless you like smoke.
Or if you want to buy another pedal.
That's true. That's true. All right. So I've got to go pick up my notes now.
Okay.
Oh, fudge.
Got my notes back. You should have forewarned me on that one.
Don't throw your notes again.
Okay.
Don't need no stinky notes.
Right. So let's go with this one. This is a fairly easy one. I can't really demonstrate it. We can talk about it though. So Bobo Bahanan, he's written this before.
He has.
Yeah. So
Can't forget a name like Bobo.
that's right. What's the difference between optical, VCA, FET, valve, multiband, and parallel compressors? What are some applications for each type? What's the difference between analog, digital, and actual reverb? What are some applications for Hall, plate, room, spring, reverb, convolution, reverse,
Algorithmic?
reverse, gated, multiple delay, reverbs.
That is all you, dude.
Whoo! Whew. Okay, so
Deep breath.
okay, I'm third grade level here. This is just the way I do things. So optical uses each one uses a different type of circuit to achieve compression. So for example, with an optical compression, it's going to sound different, it's going to compress different, it's going to feel different. Same thing, VCA, FET, valve. Multiband is, I mean, you can actually take specific audio frequencies and compress just that frequency.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
let's say you just want to compress the mid-range or the bass, you can do that. Parallel compressors be like ego compressors. So you can blend in a clean signal
Okay.
or really anything. If you wanted to, if you want to get technical, you can blend in anything if you're using parallel compression. But for the most part, you're blending in the clean signal, so it's a little more, I think, realistic sounding.
Yeah.
A little more natural, organic,
Organic.
chewy, woody, tweety, what all those
Sparkly.
buzzwords. Yeah.
Transparent.
Yep. The difference between the reverbs, though, analog and digital, like analog reverb is, I would say an analog reverb would be, I guess your spring reverb could be
Yeah.
considered analog. Plate style, like the old plate style, like these
Actual
pieces.
plates,
Yep.
yeah.
That could be considered analog. So those are like physical parts that you're running sound through to create reverberations.
Reverberations.
And then, of course, throw a mic in a big empty room somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the original version of analog reverb.
Put one in the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, basically with any sort of reverb pedal, you're just emulating that. And you're going to emulate it in the digital world because you're not going to put a bunch of springs in a pedal, for example.
It's hard to fit all those in
Right. And I haven't figured out a way to put a room inside of a pedal
there yet.
They're still working on that, though.
Modern technology, it's probably going to be possible soon.
I've got GarageBand, so
I know.
surely we can figure it out with that.
I could be a transformer too. I'm banking on it.
So I mean, the question about the reverbs, they all do different things. Reverse reverb sounds like in reverse. You play the note and the
Yeah.
reverb's backwards. Gated, there's going gated reverb. So I don't think I've ever really used gated reverb. I haven't really had
I never
a
have.
need to. I've seen it on the settings and mess with it, but I think it kind of sucks. Like personally, like it's something I don't use myself. It would never. Yeah, so the best way to figure that out is to, I think, like use Logic or not Corning. No one, you don't have Pro Tools, do you?
I like Pro Tools.
Yeah, me neither. So GarageBand or Logic
Yeah,
or
on your
something like
phone.
that, and like click on your plugin, and then just screw around with that and the different types. Like it's pretty hard to distinguish the difference. But I mean, like the reverb you hear on the guitar is a plugin right now, and it's simulating a smallish room.
Yeah.
Hit me a quick note on there. Yeah, so that's just a simulation to give it some space, and that's really because I'm not a big fan of the spring reverb on the deluxe reverb, which we're going through right now. I just don't like it.
I like spring reverb.
You do like your spring reverb.
I do.
I tend to like more plate style.
And I want if I had my way, I'd have like a big reverb unit on top of my super reverb. You need more reverb.
That would be cool if I had my way. I would just bring a big empty room everywhere and put a mic at one end.
You need to learn how to breadboard that.
Okay. So I've got this next question. You're gonna love this. So it's from Mike Handelman,
Okay.
and it's about pickups.
So we should call Uncle Frank.
So I think we create a new part to these videos.
Yes.
And what did we decide to call it?
Let's call Uncle Frank.
Let's call Uncle Frank. All right, Frank. Uncle Frank.
Uncle Frank.
All right, Uncle Frank. So this is a question from Mike Handelman. And Mike Handelman says, is there any reason I couldn't mix rail-style pickups on a Strat with traditional single coils? I'm thinking of putting a 50s-style, vintage-style pickup in the neck of my Strat for fat, juicy bluestone, and then a cool rails in the middle, and a hot rails in the bridge for more modern tones. And he says, I play blues, and I'm influenced a lot by really modern guys like Robin Ford and Scott Henderson, and jazz fusion players.
All right.
So going from a fat, hunky, true single coil tone to a hot rails appeals to me. So this is from Mike. So
Okay.
what does the pickup man say?
Well, one of the things I say is from a long time ago, it also appealed to me. I did that in one of my strats. I put in these are Bartolinis. They just happen to be, again, low output, vintage voiced type of pickups. But the output from them is very vintagey. And then, to the bridge pickup, which is a Hot Rails right there, as you can see. And so there's a couple of things to consider that don't necessarily apply to this Bartolini guitar of mine, but they kind of do. Yes, of course you can combine it. You can combine whatever you want, especially if they're all passive. There's not a problem. There's not necessarily a problem with interaction. The neck pickup, if you have a 50s neck Fender sounding pickup, it's going to be fairly low output. If you combine that with a middle pickup that's a cool rails, the cool rails isn't that hot, so it's not like it's going to get tremendously hotter by the time you get to the middle pickup. The bridge pickup, the Hot Rails, that's going to be pretty loud. However, not really much louder than a guy who puts a JB or a distortion or any other, humbucker in his Strat, which we've seen happen a lot over the last 30 years. So it's the kind of thing that people do. The couple things that I would point out are that with a Hot Rails pickup configuration, when you're looking at the pickup, the coils itself, right? There's one coil and then there's another one right next to it. And so the magnetic field is such that this one's north and that one's south, or vice versa if it's flipped around. That means that the magnetic field wants to jump over from one to the next really quickly. It makes it a very low magnetic field. That means it's really sensitive to pickup height. So that cool rails that you put in the middle, if that's a little bit loud because it's a cool rails, you can just lower it down a little bit, and it's going to really dramatically respond to the height with regard to volume. In the bridge position, the same thing is true, but we all like our Hot Rails pretty loud, so normally we'll adjust them pretty close to the strings. But aside from that, and maybe phasing issues, like if your neck pickup was a Fender brand, and then your middle and bridge pickup are Seymour Duncan brand, sometimes Fenders are out of phase with the Duncan, and you have to flip hot and ground, or else they'll sound thin and weak in the center position. But other than that, it's going to work. And so I say by all means, go for it.
Cool. All right then. So if that's all you have to say about it, I mean,
It kind of is. I mean, we can cut.
It kind of is.
All right, man.
Unless we're waiting for a joke to go out on, but that's on you guys. That's not on me.
Oh no.
Thanks, Uncle Frank.
No, that's all we got. All right. Thanks, man.
All right. See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So there you have it.
So
Riveting stuff.
that's what Uncle Frank says.
You almost need a cigarette after that.
I know.
Exciting.
But what better guy to get to answer the pickup stuff than the guy that
Designed
them.
a bunch of pickups.
So
The P-rail, the fishing stuff.
Yep.
He had influence over the fluence.
Yes.
There.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So good times.
So for this week's Gear Vault, we have this very cool little pedal from Henrietta Engineering called the Bluebird Fuzz. Interesting little story on this pedal. This is actually Brad Paisley's pedal that he let me borrow.
And he just never gave back.
No. It's Brad Paisley's pedal, man.
Yeah, he's not. He's probably has 7 more.
No, actually, he kind of the backstory is he loves the sound of this fuzz, and he was like, you know what? I would like something that was like that, but had more control to it. Yeah, so.
I'm trying to help Bob. I'm doing a terrible job. Bob's like, hey, everybody, Bob Johnson. Doesn't ever talk, but yeah. Fix stuff. I'm trying to help him read sign language. It's like charades. It's like no closer sounds like. Like forget it. I'll move the freaking pedal myself.
Right. So for everyone listening, basically, Bob behind the camera was throwing all kinds of hand signals.
Yeah, it was
and we were like, "What? What did he say?"
I thought I was trying to steal second base or something, and had no idea what the hell he was talking about. You want me to what? No. It was the same color as my shirt. That's why, almost the same color as my shirt. That's why I picked it out.
And my eyes.
It's true. Dreamy. I mean, what? Anyways, I don't trust it though, because where's the rest of it? Like, where's the knobs and stuff?
What you get's what you get.
There's
You know what?
There's nothing internal.
I haven't opened it up, so it's possible that there's trim pots in it. I don't know. Maybe.
But it has a foot switch and an LED for those of you guys just listening.
Yes.
That's it.
It's like the size of... how would you describe this?
Like
Size
a White
of
Castle cheeseburger.
for everyone outside of Midwest America.
What do they call it? The Crystal Burger. Outside the Midwest.
So it's 2 inches by 2 inches.
Thereabouts, yeah. I like the burger analogy better, though.
Sure. So, all right. So let's... so you got it engaged.
Yeah, I actually I was playing around with it. I put it on the bridge.
Rock out with your Glock out. It's a gun.
I know. I have
gun joke.
several. It's terrible playing, but you gotta get some of the sound of it. It actually sounded. I thought it sounded better on the bridge, believe it or not. On the neck, because it's still there, but
But
like,
you're playing chords
I know, right? Cowboy chords.
on a fuzz.
You play this joint thing.
No, okay.
No, show me how it's done there, Wampler.
Oh, just stand back. First of all,
Just stand back. he
stand
said.
back, because here's the thing.
Play some Brad Paisley lyrics right there.
However that song goes. I don't know.
Sure.
So anyways, I don't know. You play more fuzz than I do, but I always play single note stuff.
No.
Like,
You're never gonna see me do this ever again.
that's
I think
bridge.
that's a killer.
You like that note?
Resolve to the one. Resolve to the one. Bend. That's okay. Bump.
Ooh, it cleans up.
Running it.
Nah, something like that. Is that now?
No, it's close.
That's close to Government Mule, right?
Yeah, Warren Haynes actually does. He does Prince's "When Doves Cry" right before he does that live.
Right.
It's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
That is quite awesome. But Warren Haynes is quite awesome.
I love this pedal, dude. It's cool.
I'll sell it to you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Then Mr. Paisley would be mad at me,
They probably would never talk to me again.
and that's not good.
And that's how you end a relationship with an artist.
Yeah,
You
that's
sell
not
his
good.
photos. No, I'm kidding. So, yeah, Henrietta Fuzz, Henrietta Engineering, Bluebird Fuzz, kind of a nifty little cool pedal. Doesn't take up much pedal board space, but it looks like what you get is what you get.
Yeah, it's cool.
And unless you open it and there's more in there, and then you get more for what you get.
Stand by. We'll open it up. Let you guys know. And by us, I mean I will.
Right. So, all right. So that's all we got for today. If you're watching on YouTube, which you probably are, or Facebook maybe, make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you ask us questions, because we kind of feed off all those questions. All the content. So, email us podcast@wamplerpedals.com, or you actually use Twitter. Let's just start a hashtag now. What? Ask Chasing Tone.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ask Chasing Tone.
Or hashtag Uncle Frank. But no, seriously, give us a little share love here, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.